What's up guys, it's DJ. Welcome to Gamma Burl Hulk Reviews. Now for your Gamma dose of the Jade Giant. Today's featured Hulk item is this really cool high-end figure from Max Factory out of Japan. This is the Figma series line from Avengers, and the review is coming up next. Thanks for joining me today, guys. So this particular Hulk item is based out of Japan. So Max Factory is a really popular Japanese figure company. They mostly deal with decently high-end PVC anime statues and figurines. They are extremely popular. They are an import company that imports into the US with their merchandise. And they also have an articulated high-end figure line called Figma. Their Figma brand has been around for a decent amount of time. It is distributed by Good Smile Company. Good Smile Company is a massive distributor out of Japan. They distribute a lot of the higher-end figures and statues of anime. And it's really cool that a Japanese company like Max Factory would dive into American-based comic products in general. So it's just really fun that they have the Marvel license and they took the time to create really cool articulated high-end figures based off Marvel characters. And I'm really happy that they did the Avengers Hulk. So this particular figure is pretty detailed, pretty high-end. I have a really detailed statue of the Avengers Hulk that was a 3D scan and render of the actual Hulk out of the Avengers movie. And what's interesting is, out of all the different Avenger Hulk products, figures, toys, there's a lot of good ones out there. Marvel Legends and Marvel Select and a lot of other really cool ones like Mezco, and there's some really nice figures out there. But in my opinion, when it comes to the 2012 Avengers series, the Figma Hulk is an extremely good render, almost identical verbatim to that really high detailed expensive statue that I own. Color, facial expressions and features, just very detailed. I even put the Figma underneath that statue, so at the end of the video I'll put the figure back where I usually have it, and I'll just show you how close in scale, proportions, color, facial features. It's just really good overall. And now I'll show you what the figure looks like. So we are going to start with Sculpt. I think the sculpt of this is absolutely fantastic. I think this is the best sculpted figure face from the 2012 Hulk. I think it's pretty damn accurate overall. Figma did an excellent job. And what's really cool about this is you can remove the face. There's a face plate, so you can see the little seam there in the hair. That comes out, and just like Hot Toys, Figma has these little white posts that you could take from behind the faceplate and adjust the eyes. So you can swivel the eyes around and move them, which is awesome. But the sculpt on this is very nice overall. There's just a really cool texture to this figure. It's almost like, it's really hard to explain. It's a lot like little mini Hot Toys figure, just done in more of a PVC form. So what's interesting is Hot Toys have these structured bodies, and then they put like a rubberized skin over top of the inside of the skeletal structure. And Figma does exactly the same thing. So the texture and the feel of this is very smooth and rubberized almost. It has a very interesting feel to it, and I love the texture of it. It's very nice. There's the pants, pretty accurate color to what he had in the movie. Just really good detail overall. Really nice back and shading and structure. See, just a little bit of vascularity. 2012 Hulk compared to 2008 Hulk, he's not as ripped muscular-wise. There's not like muscles over like muscles with these really minuscule muscles. This is more of a kind of like a monster. I thought Joss Whedon's take on the Hulk was really, really good. I really liked that he was more like ferocious and bulky and kind of like, I guess Bruce Banner did have control of him, which I kind of didn't like, but that Hulk definitely showed that when he got mad, he was like, kind of everybody got scared and ran, kind of like Black Widow did in the movie. So that was just a really cool way of introducing the Hulk to the show. So Sculpt is just so good on this, honestly. So Sculpt of this, I will give an A. I think this is the best Avengers inspired Hulk figure to date, look-wise and sculpt-wise. I definitely think it's my favorite in regards to this particular Hulk. Paint, again, extremely well done. Very subtle with the textures. They gave just a little hint of shading in between all the muscles and vascularity. They didn't overdo it. I think the back around the spine is done really, really well. The little hole in the back there is for a stand that you can use, because a lot of the Figmas have smaller feet and are kind of hard to balance in certain poses, but Hulk is such a big boy with his big feet, you don't really have issues with that if you pose them correctly. But paint is really good, super accurate. Like, that's the high-end Hulk statue that I have, and if you look at the color pants and the color skin and the face, it's very close to this overall, which is just awesome. So painting the pants, I mean, the pants could be, detailed a little bit more and have a little bit more variation to them. But they went out with the more simplistic colored approach and detail approach, pretty smooth. Paint, I will give an A-. I think it's very well done overall. So here's just a better look at the detail of it. You can really see the eyes and the lights. I have it turned sideways and just a really dynamic, cool pose. But you can really see the structure of the skin and detail. Just done really well overall. So we will go into quality. So here is a little bit of the downfall. It depends on how you approach this. So I think the quality of materials, the heft, extremely heavy. One of the more heavier figures in the collection, definitely. Even with something like the chunky Marvel Selects, this is as heavy as Marvel Select and it's not nearly as big. Like size-wise, he's really tall, but Marvel Selects are like really chunky figures. And he has that heft because of that skeletal frame underneath. So here's the detriment to it. This really isn't a toy to play with. You're not going to be smashing it against other figures and posing it like all the damn time. Because if you do, that rubberized texture and the joints around the wrists and the neck and especially the waist when you swivel the abs around. And because of that, you'll get a little bit of shiny marks on it. A lot of the areas, when they do get damaged, will be shiny. And because this is a flat color, it stands out like a sore thumb. So I have, just like the Hot Toys Hulk in that general, you also want to make sure that you don't move it around all that much because you will get marks. So you don't want to bump this or play with this all too much. I didn't even touch this. This is out of the box. And just a little bit of whatever that touched it just gave it a little bit of shininess, and that glare in the light really stands out, so you just don't want to play with this at all. And another issue is because of the pants and the way they're put together, over top of the skeletal structure, the legs are super finicky. So this whole sleeve will come off and you'll see the skeletal structure underneath. I don't want to do that because it's not known issues with this, but it definitely will just fall off. And you just don't want to play with it all that much. So once you pose these, you basically don't want to touch them again. So get a really cool pose and put it on your shelf and it will look amazing. Quality materials is definitely an A, but playability, when you factor that into quality, it's probably a B- to a C+, just because of how gentle you have to be with the figure. So if you're a person that plays with your figures, definitely don't buy a figure like this because you will just destroy it and bang it up. So I would never give this to kids or anything. This is more just a high-end posable, like a statue almost, in figure form. Kind of like a Hot Toys. You pose it and you make it look pretty on the shelf. For that reason, I'm not going to go into articulation with this particular figure. This is just one that I'm going to stay away from. If you want, there are reviews in the past of people doing that. And even in their videos, you see the issues that I'm talking about happen firsthand. in the marks of them just moving it around, especially in the waist area. And I could tell it bothered them even in those videos, so I'm just not going to do it. He is decently articulated. I mean, you can definitely move the neck and head around really easy. Again, this whole faceplate comes off where you can adjust the eyes. You have decent 360 rotation on the shoulders. No bicep swivel, but you do get a decent amount of range. But I would say no, not as much as a Marvel Legends in regards to how far the arm can go up. A lot of range. They did a really good job at structuring the length and width of the biceps and tries to get a lot of range out of the elbow. So you can tuck in the arm like this pretty far, at least 90 degrees, which is excellent. You do have all the swivels and rotations to the wrists. These come with 2 fists and 2 open hands, so you can switch out the hands pretty easily. They pop off extremely easy. They're almost like a suction cup peg. It's not more of just like a normal peg. These are really high quality pegs, which is great. Again, you want to watch this area, so when you are flexing this leg around, you do get a decent amount of rotation and stuff. But these pieces will. You can see the skeletal structure underneath there a little bit. This whole piece will just fall off. So you really got to be careful with the legs of this Hulk. I love you don't see the seams within the knees, which is excellent. Only a little bit in the back and tons of rotation and range in the feet. You have a surprisingly decent ab crunch. There is an ab crunch underneath this, and he does do really well. You can't see it, but it's underneath the rubberized stomach, and the waist does swivel. So it is pretty good articulation-wise. I just don't recommend articulating it all that much. So articulation, I'll give an A- on what the capabilities of the figure are, but again, with quality, it's definitely going to take a hit once you start playing with it and seeing the marks and the stuff falling off. So pose it and leave it alone. Does this have the wow factor? I think this figure definitely does have a wow factor to it. People that have seen it definitely gravitate towards it, and they're like, they're really surprised with the quality and detail out of this figure. It's super accurate to the Hulk of the 2012 Avengers movie, and he definitely does stand out in that regard. So wow factor will be an A- for this figure overall, but definitely a very fun, cool figure. Definitely highly recommended if you're the type that puts stuff on the shelves and appreciates the detail of it. So here's my little setup of where I have him. And I have Hot Toys Bruce Banner there. So I have the Figma, the Hot Toys Bruce Banner, and the Hot Toys. And I think together, those three look really, really cool. Now, if you look at the color of the Hulk from the Hot Toys and you look at this color, this is the Legacy Sideshow Collectibles statue. And if you look at the pants, which I'll do a review of this later down the road for you, but the skin quality and the face. But if you look at the color of the pants and the face, especially from like an angle like this, and then you look at that, it is so similar. And skin color and quality of color, you can see the color of the pants and the color of the skin of this is definitely different. And I think this is even more accurate than the Hot Toys Hulk in regards to color and pants color from the movie. I think this is way more accurate color. But that's just what it looks like overall in general for my little Avengers Hulk section. And I just wanted to show you what I see every day in the collection. So overall, I'll probably give this figure about an A-. It would definitely get an A if the posability was a little bit easier on the figure and it didn't scuff up as much with the shiny marks and the legs didn't slide off as easily as they do. Other than that, it's like almost like A- to straight A's across the board in regards to quality and structure, detail, paint. Just very, very cool mini Hot Toys statue. That's pretty much what it is. These retailed, I believe, $120, $140. I can't really remember. It's been out a while now. They still go for about that price. You'll find it on the used market, like a used figure, maybe $75 to $100, and then boxed, like unopened, you're still looking for retail value. But these do hold. Figma is a pretty good brand and very, very popular with their stuff. Hope you guys like this. So, do you like the 2012 Hulk? Are you a fan of that movie, that version of Hulk? Because that movie, I think he was very, very cool. And I think just every Avengers movie from then on, just he kind of goes downhill a little bit. And now he's a Hulk that I'm very disappointed in with the movies. But this version was peak MCU and the introduction of the Hulk. And it was just a really, really fun movie. And the figure does a really good job of recreating that look. So thanks for watching, guys. Please Hulk smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you want to see maybe comparison videos of other Avengers figures, I'll eventually down the road do, face-off and comparison videos and stuff. I'm just trying to hit individual reviews first and then do those comparison videos. So if there's an Avengers Hulk that you're curious about that you think is really, really good quality and good look, and you want to see it, stack up against this particular Hulk, I'll do a little face-off video of those once I do the individual review of the other figure that you request. And we'll see which figure, in my opinion, looks better. A little fun video to do down the road for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this. So have a wonderful day. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.
Peace.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.